Hello, welcome to another OnlyFans video where I am going to teach you all the tips and tricks that it takes to create a successful business on OnlyFans. I do have a long playlist of videos, so if you are looking on how to start an OnlyFans, if you're looking on how to grow your OnlyFans, if you're looking for new ideas on how to create content or how to grow, I have tons of videos, and I also offer promo and also one-on-one consultations, as well as an online course that you can purchase, all linked down in the description box. So let's jump into today's video. Today's video is what I've learned on OnlyFans after 3 years being on the platform. I started my OnlyFans, I want to say December 2019. I can actually tell you exactly when because I do have a YouTube video of like the first week I started. I don't know if it was December 2019 or January/February 2020. But either way, we're almost at the 3-year mark of me being on the platform. And I have a few things that I wanted to, I guess, discuss and share with my experience and everything that I've done on the platform so far and everything I've learned so far being an OnlyFans creator. The first thing that I unfortunately had to learn is that just like any business, there are ebbs and flows, and there are times when things are doing really, really well, and there are times when things don't perform as much as you'd like them to. And it's the same in any business, and I think it was something that I had to learn pretty quickly. There are times of the year where your OnlyFans just naturally performs better, and then there are times when you personally perform better, when you are putting in the most work and you're putting in the most effort and things are going well, and then there are times when you can't do that, or the platform just itself doesn't have, like, it's not the platform's high season, so you're not going to get as much traction or whatever it is. There are ebbs and flows, and it was something I had to learn and something I had to adapt to. Especially working for yourself, you kind of have to realize that your income isn't going to be the same every month. So on those really successful months, you definitely want to be putting away money so that when there are those months where you're not performing as well, you still feel comfortable and safe within your income. You're not spending out of your means and all of that. Another thing I learned pretty quickly is my mental strength and how I needed to work on my mental strength. I think when I first started, I did know that there was going to be some pushback from family and friends and even people I didn't know. I did know that, and I knew going in that the stigma that society has around sex workers and creators like this, I already knew there was a stigma. I just didn't I guess fully prepare for the mental strength that I needed to have. And luckily, as time goes on, you kind of get stronger and stronger, and you get a thicker backbone, and you kind of accept who you are more, which we will get into. Shoot, there's like a line on my face. What I mean by this is I was very mentally strong before I started OnlyFans, and I did have to be stronger than I thought I had to be. So it's a learning and growing experience, and I think every day there's new struggles and battles that you have to go through. The sun is in my eyes now, and you just kind of have to deal with it as they come. I'm editing right now, and what I meant to say when I was talking about mental strength is that it never ends. Like, I thought I was strong enough when I started, and I was for that time, but the hate never ends. People questioning you never ends. Like 3 years in, and I still get the same questions, the same hate, and it only gets worse. So you only have to get stronger, and that's what I mean by, it's not that I wasn't fully prepared for this. It was that I didn't realize that it was never gonna stop. It never stops. Like, you constantly have to be strong. And you constantly have to be ready for whatever type of hate you're gonna get. Because you're gonna keep getting hate. And keep getting hate. And keep getting hate. You just have to choose to ignore it. Okay, now that the sun is my eyes, we'll jump into the next one. Something that I learned in the past 3 years is that there is no one way to succeed on the platform. And I think that goes for any social media platform. If you're on Instagram, if you're on OnlyFans, if you're on Twitter, anything really, there's not one way to succeed. There's not a, you know, how would I put this? There's not just like a quick solution to how to gain tons of followers on OnlyFans and keep those followers. Like, there's no one-stop shop that just gives you followers. It's not going to be like that. It's not a free platform, so it's not like Instagram or YouTube or Twitter where, you know, all your fans stick with you. It's not like that. People come and go because it's a subscription-based platform, and that's just is how it is. And there's not one way to succeed. And that goes for content as well. There's not one way to make content. There's so many shadows on my face. I feel like I should move. Sorry about these shadows. There's not one way to make OnlyFans work as a career. This looks so bad because of this freaking shadow. So there's not one way to do this job, and that goes for everything. I think a lot of people come on this platform and think, oh, easy money. Everyone hears about everyone making so much money on OnlyFans, and then they get on there and they don't know how to make that type of money. And the fact is, it's not as easy as it looks. And there's not just one way to do it. And so if you just jump on thinking you're gonna make a bunch of money, if you don't have a following, if you don't have, you know, the means to make content and to stay consistent, you're not gonna succeed. So one thing I learned was there's not one way to do it. And you got to experiment and change things up and try different things and constantly be evolving. At some point, just like any job, you kind of reach an unsatisfied place in your career, and that goes for OnlyFans as well. You reach a place where you don't feel as excited about it, especially after 3 years. And you kind of have a burnout phase. I've gone through it a couple times with my OnlyFans where I felt burnt out, where I felt like I didn't have anything new to create. What I learned about that is there are times when you do have to take a break, and there are times when you have to power through. And you're not always going to feel 100%, but does that mean you can just stop working? No. It's still a job. You're going to reach points in your job where you don't feel as passionate, excited, motivated, whatever it is. There are going to be hard days. There are going to be tough months. That just comes with having a job in general. Something I learned that I feel really passionate to share is you can't convince anybody of who you are. You have to believe who you are and not care what anyone thinks. Okay, sorry if the lighting keeps changing. The sunset is going down, and I should have filmed this earlier, but here we are. I think something I learned as a creator in general is that I can't force myself to work when I should. I just have to work when I have the motivation, and today happened to be when it's sunset. I think that's something that I learned about myself personally, is that I work best when I just naturally have the motivation, and what I can do for myself is I can consume content, which helps me then be motivated to make content. But I have to consume it before doing it, and that's just how I am. I can't really just wake up and feel ready to take content. Normally, sometimes I do, but for the most part, I have to like gather ideas and like in the moment make the content. Something I learned about myself. So as I was saying, you can't convince other people who you are. You have to just believe in yourself and not care what anyone thinks. Not let other people's perception of you change your perception of you. What I kind of learned is that I know I'm a good person, and I know that I know who I am. I know I'm a good friend, I'm a good sister, I'm a good daughter, I'm a good wife. Nothing I've done online takes away from that. And there are going to be people who will say this and that, but you have to choose not to listen to them, not to care about those things, and just be yourself. You have to accept yourself. Okay, so I kind of mentioned this before. I had to come to an understanding with myself and not get discouraged when there were those ebbs, those low points where people unsubscribe, where, you know, things just aren't going exactly the way I want them to. I kind of had to not feel discouraged by that because, like, you know, it is a subscription-based website and there are going to be followers here and there and they're going to come and go, and you just have to keep powering through. You cannot fail if you never give up. The only way you can fail is if you choose to stop doing what you're doing. So that's something I learned in the past 3 years, is that yes, the feeling of discouragement is going to come, it's going to happen, but I don't have to let that get to me and make me feel not motivated or passionate. I have to find things that help me feel passionate, that help me feel motivated, and run with that. And then the last thing that I learned through doing this, the sun is really truly going down now. And then the last and honestly most important thing that I learned doing OnlyFans is that you have to stay consistent. And I knew this by doing YouTube and by doing other social media platforms. I know that you had to stay consistent, but it really, really shows on OnlyFans. If you are being consistent, you will make money. If you are constantly promoting, if you're constantly, you know, making better and better content, you will see the money coming in. If you fall off of that consistency, you will see a decline. And that's just how the platform works. And I feel like I really, really noticed it when I started doing OnlyFans, how important being consistent is. And so I try to also take that into my other parts of my career, like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. I try to stay as consistent as possible because that's when I see the most growth and the most success on my platforms. I forgot something major that I learned is my body. I finally learned my body, and I think that it's crazy. We go all these years in our life and we're taught to be kind of afraid of our sexuality, kind of afraid of our bodies. We're taught to keep it private. We're taught to not share ourselves. We're taught to not even know ourselves on a sexual level. And I really learned my body. I learned what feels good to me. I learned what my body looks like for the first time. Like, I started this like around 25 years old, right? And I, for 25 years, had no idea what my vagina looked like. That should be a problem. Like, we should know what our bodies look like. We should know what feels good to us. I think that's what makes sex such a taboo thing, is because we don't know our bodies and we're taught not to know our bodies. And I think that's why people end up with, you know, pregnancies that they don't want, STDs and STIs and all of that, is because we don't have the knowledge that we need. We don't know how to protect ourselves. We don't know our bodies. We just don't know. And so that was something I learned, and I can't believe I didn't say this earlier when I was filming the video, but it is so important. It's one of the things I'm most grateful for starting OnlyFans. I finally know myself after, 25 years of life. I actually started to get to know myself on a deeper level. And not just with the sexual side of things, but also as a human, and as you learn a lot about yourself doing sex work, because people decide who you are for you, and you have to truly know who you are and say that, no, I know who I am. You have to truly figure yourself out when you decide to enter this type of work. And I feel like I finally know myself after all that time of not knowing myself. Okay, that's all. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this video was helpful to anyone that's looking to start an OnlyFans, or if you're already doing OnlyFans and you need like that little bit of push to keep you motivated. I hope this was that video for you. Please watch all my OnlyFans content. I I have a full playlist, like I said, and it goes through, you know, start to finish, how to start an OnlyFans, how to create content for an OnlyFans, how to succeed on OnlyFans, how to gain followers, all of that. Please watch that video, and I'll see you in the next one.